Welcome to Zenny the Fright, your destination for all things horror. We feature horror stories told from the perspective of the individuals who have faced terrifying encounters. Through their eyes, you will gain insight into the raw emotions and intense physical and mental struggles that come with overcoming danger and fear. If you are a horror movie fan, Zenith of Fright is also packed with curiosities and behind-the-scenes stories, so you can uncover the secrets of the horror genre. Let's begin.
I was 17 years old when it all started. I was just like any other teenager and had the classic concerns of any teenager. Getting good grades and trying to be a part of the popular groups at school. Gradually, I started feeling that my friends were looking at me differently. I felt that my teachers were talking about me behind my back. I started becoming more isolated from the rest of my friends and family. I stopped eating the food at my school because I thought they were poisoning me. I remember the first time that I heard a voice. I was in a chemistry class when suddenly I heard it. It was a faint voice that said, "Laura is your enemy." I should mention that Laura was one of my closest friends. We had known each other since childhood and we studied in the same classroom. My reaction was to turn around to see if anyone had said something to me, but everyone was looking at the teacher who was giving the class. I tried to convince myself that I had imagined it, although something inside me told me that something was not right. I started to feel very scared and couldn't pay attention to anything the teacher was saying. All my attention was on the fear of hearing that voice again. And for the second time, I heard it. This time it said, "You are in danger." I got up from my seat suddenly, and everyone looked at me. My teacher asked, "Diane, are you okay?" I told him that I felt sick and that I needed to go to the nurse's office. My best friend Laura and my teacher went with me to the nurse's office of the school. Both of them asking me what was wrong. I just said, "My head hurts a little." While we were walking to the nurse's office, I heard the voice for the third time. But this time it was more audible. It was almost like it was shouting, "Duck. Laura is going to hit you." My reaction was sudden. Without thinking twice, I ducked to avoid a blow that did not happen. Laura and my teacher were asking me what was happening. At that point, I didn't know if I could trust them or not, and I was crying. My breathing was accelerated, my heartbeats were pounding in my chest, I was sweating and trembling. Because of the noise we were making, the students from other classrooms started to peek in to see what was happening. I felt a mix of shame, embarrassment, confusion and fear. I just wanted to be with my father. We were not allowed to have cell phones at school, so I couldn't call him. We arrived at the nurse's office. They left me alone with the nurse. I noticed that her face had abnormal features. It was like a blank mask. And there I was, completely vulnerable. When she took my hand to take my blood pressure, the voice began to tell me, "Hit her, defend yourself or she will kill you." I pushed her away and I started yelling. I can't describe in detail what happened the rest of the day, except that I was very agitated and nervous. I remember being on a hospital bed while doctors and nurses were evaluating me and my father was there, comforting me. I slept the rest of the day. The next day, I woke up in the hospital and my dad told me that the lab test results were fine. From that day on, I started seeing a psychiatrist and eventually I was diagnosed. My doctor told me that schizophrenia affects 1 in every 300 people worldwide. And with treatment, most of them can achieve a normal life, have a normal job and start a family. Some people we know might have schizophrenia, but we don't know because mental illnesses are taboo. At first, my medication worked. But then I wanted to follow what is called alternative medicine. I decided that I was not going to see my doctor anymore. I stopped the right treatment. I also started consuming recreational drugs for many years with people that I used to call friends. Gradually, I began to spend more time in my nightmare world. Seeing horrible faces in the windows. Hearing cruel voices. Sometimes I didn't even recognize my father. The social life I once had no longer existed and my friends drifted away due to my behavior. My father told me many times that he wanted me to go to see my psychiatrist again. Finally, I agreed. Since I had been consuming recreational drugs for so many years, my brain was more affected. And even when I was always paranoid, I still didn't want to take medication. The last year I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw a shadow with a malevolent smile in the recliner chair of my room. I heard voices telling me to grab a knife and kill it. I went to the kitchen and grabbed a big knife. I came back to my room and I started stabbing the dark shadow. It started fighting back. I stabbed it several times until it stopped moving. I'm currently confined in a psychiatric hospital where I will spend the rest of my life. The dark shadow that I had seen in the recliner was my father. I wish I could go back in time and follow the treatment that my doctor suggested. If you are one of those 300 people with schizophrenia, trust your doctor and your family. They want the best for you. I envy those who can distinguish reality from dreams. Most of the time I can't. I keep seeing faces and hearing voices. I am writing this letter during one of my clear-minded moments with the help of my therapist. I feel trapped in a nightmare world from which I think I will never wake up.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Your subscription is important to maintain this channel. See you soon.